Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Serving Scandalous podcast.
Oh yeah, welcome.
You're in for a interesting video today.
Uh-oh.
Well, this is going to be some Reddit stories of people who are in need of some very important advice.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're calling upon us to help them out.
Hey, I'm here for it.
And we know our followers and subscribers are some of the smartest people in the world.
Hmm?
So I'm sure you would have a lot of great advice for them in the comments.
Hey, I'm gonna try my best to give good advice, so I'm here for it.
Well, these people are in a lot of sticky situations,
Hmm.
and one story might even make some of you guys cry.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's a tearjerker.
Okay.
But I mean, like always, some of these stories are a little, unhinged.
Hey.
And you're going to be upset as to why they even put themselves in this situation. But without further ado, are you ready for the first story?
Oh yeah, I'm with it.
All right. I found my wife's secret and I'm sick to my stomach.
Okay. Wife got secrets.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not what you think, though.
Hey, okay.
You can't guess this.
I can't guess it, huh?
Mm-mm. I'm 36. My wife is 33. We met through some coworkers. It was love at first sight. I had recently got out of a long-term relationship when we met. That relationship was kind of abusive. My ex and my wife knew each other, but they aren't friends. I have my ex blocked on everything. We do not speak. I married my wife. We bought a house and started trying for a baby, which was difficult because my wife has PCOS. Thankfully, we finally had our baby, a girl.
Hmm.
I love being a dad. My life felt perfect. My marriage felt perfect. This is what happily ever after looks like. While in bed one night, my laptop died, so I opened my wife's work tablet to finish doing some tax stuff. She wasn't home at the time, just me and the baby. We've never been the couple that needed to ask each other for permission to use each other's devices. Neither of us had anything to hide, so I thought.
Right.
I opened up her internet browser and she had an incognito tab open.
Uh-oh.
What's an incognito tab?
It's a tab where if you can just search whatever, and then when it closes, everything, like all the history and stuff, is gone.
So it's like a secret?
Like a secret tab, yeah. A secret window.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That is when I got the shock of my life. She has a secret Google account with a photo album called X. I clicked it,
Oh.
expecting to find an affair or nude photos. But nope. This album has over 300 photos of my ex, the one that I mentioned at the beginning of the story. The woman who abused me, tormented me, made me feel worthless. This album went all the way back to when me and my wife first met. The most recent images were just uploaded 2 weeks ago. There was a variety of different photos. Some were from vacations, a work ID photo, candid photos with family, some photos from parties. She even had photos of her high school yearbook.
Oh wow.
There were screenshots and screen recordings of videos with just my ex in them. If there were any other people in the photos, they will be cropped out or zoomed in just on my ex. This is not even the creepiest part. There was another album. They were zoomed in particularly just to my ex's hair.
What?
Now that I think about it, my wife recently started wearing her hair in a different hairstyle similar to how my ex would wear it. There were even more albums. Another album had all screenshots of comments on social media. Of course, I've never seen these because my ex is blocked. What's interesting is that my ex rarely is on social media. My wife had to go through great lengths to find these.
Wow.
My ex even lives in a completely different country now. There was another photo that had links to the outfits that my ex had on in these photos. Links to her specific shoes, shirt, pants, dress. Even there was a link to the water bottle she was holding in one of the photos.
What?
Come to think about it, I purchased her that water bottle while we were together. The strangest part is that this isn't just some album that was started when we were dating, maybe just some jealousy or just snooping out of curiosity. But like I said, She updated this album 2 weeks ago. We've been married almost a decade.
Hmm.
Why is she still curious about my ex that I have no communication with, no relationship with, and not on good terms with?
Right.
I'm disturbed that my wife has been secretly stalking my ex to mimic her, to look like her, to dress like her, to be like her. As I look back on some strange occurrences, I do remember her randomly having brand new interests and hobbies. She has gone great lengths to try to become my ex. Everything that we have, or what I thought we had, feels like a lie. Is our love a lie? Are the things we share together a lie? I started to get sick to my stomach. I even had a panic attack. I looked at my daughter and I just felt so betrayed. I haven't confronted her and I don't know what I would say. I don't even know if I want to. Honestly, I just want to grab my daughter, pack some things, and run away. I wanted to print out these images and leave them on the kitchen counter and just disappear. I'm so lost, I have no idea what to do. Your advice would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, I would have to have a talk with my wife.
10 years?
Yeah, because what we doing? Like, why?
10 years in?
Why you trying to be like somebody I left?
Why? Like, obviously, he's been with you a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you worried about somebody he hasn't even been with in over a decade?
I don't get it.
He's not even friends with the ex. She's not even around.
Right.
You got her around in your head.
Mm.
What in the world? That is so weird.
Yeah. And then she got images of her hair,
Yeah.
stuff she bought.
She went and found that lady's clothes. That means, you know how much time you would have to put in to take these screenshots of her social media and scour the internet for where she bought these clothes from?
Yeah. She got an obsession.
Yes.
What?
It's given unhinged.
Yeah, for real.
That's crazy.
What? I mean, what? She don't feel like she good? She good enough?
I don't know what's wrong with her. I've never ever wanted to be like anybody.
Exactly.
Especially because it doesn't feel like she has a reason to. Like, it's not like the ex is his now best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And she's around, so you're always having to be around her. And then he maybe compliments her in front of you. If that was the case, I could maybe understand a little bit more because she's in your face. Or if your husband compares you to her, like, that would all make sense as to why she would feel like this.
Right.
He don't even F with this lady.
Right.
He don't see it for her ass at all. Why would you want to be like somebody who your husband can't even stand? That's the
Exactly.
part that don't make no sense. He don't even like her.
Exactly.
What is wrong? Why would you want to remind him of the person he hates?
I have no idea.
Something wrong with her.
Yeah.
The elevator don't go all the way to the top.
I mean, you got a whole album.
That she's currently still updating.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Wow. I wouldn't know how I would feel. That would be crazy.
He needs to be concerned, baby. He needs to be concerned.
Red flag. For
I'm
sure.
concerned for his safety.
Yup.
She a little cuckoo.
A little.
But he said advice would be greatly appreciated. Let's give the man what he asking for.
Shoot, I would have a sit down.
Sit down.
Yeah, sit down. Be like, I found that.
You ain't just running?
Nah, I couldn't just run. Like, I would just have a sit down and be like, hey, this is what I found. And I would start, and I would just be like, I seen that you were switching up and now I kind of see why. But I would probably go a little bit more in depth with questions, be like, are you trying to be like my ex? After, of course, I told her, hey, I found this stuff. Are you trying to be like my ex and why?
If I was just honest, let's just say the roles was reversed and I found something like that on you, I would instantly be afraid. Because what kind of monster are you, right? Kind of reminds me of the husband who had the driver's licenses, that the wife found 8 women's driver's licenses.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, what kind of creepiness are you up to? Like, even though this one ain't as bad as a driver's license, I would instantly feel like, do I even know who I'm married to? Because I didn't know you were this just much of a creep or a weirdo. I would instantly be nervous. I don't even know who this man is. So I don't know if I would just be confronting you head on. I think I might be a little too shocked and thrown off.
No, I feel you. No, it's different perspectives. I think I would just be like, why don't you feel secure about how you look and how you are in our relationship?
If I had found an album and you had a bunch of images of my ex, a man, and all of this stuff in there about you watching him, tracking him, finding, like,
I
I
feel
would
you.
think I would be married to a psychopath, and I'm not confronting no psychopath.
No, I feel you.
I'd be too nervous to confront a psychopath.
Yeah, no, I would just, yeah, I feel you. No, it's two different spectrums of how we looking at it too.
But then again, I'm a female,
Yeah, for sure.
and I guess my fear is could be a little bit just bit more genuine to me being me versus a guy confronting a woman. Like you might not have those same
Nah,
fears.
because I would feel like, you would be feeling some type of way. You wouldn't be feeling like yourself or you loved or something like that. And I would want to know why.
Honestly, if I would confront you, I would need to be in a controlled environment like therapy. I ain't asking you this at home at the kitchen table. Hell nah, because now I think you're crazy.
I feel you.
So what you telling this man to do? You
Sit
basically
her down.
sit her down and just flat out ask her, "Hey, I found your secret Google account."
Yeah. Hey,
Straight
I
like
was
that.
trying to, my computer went kaput and I was using your computer and I seen that you had a tab open of my ex. And then now I kind of see why you've been changing and doing the things that you've been doing. And, is it because of my ex? I would start asking questions. Be like, why do you think that you need to dress like my ex? And we've been together for so long. Is it something I'm doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you feel like you got to dress like my ex? And I would
Mm-hmm.
get down to the bottom of it. That's what I would do. That would be my advice.
Get down to the bottom of it.
Yeah, because I got to fix my wife.
What if she don't think she need no fixing?
Then we would go to step 2 of you need to fix yourself because I can't have that. I didn't want my ex. Do you want to be my ex?
But the thing is, he never even noticed. So maybe he does like his ex.
But now, no, that's not. Well, I don't think he likes his ex. I think he's seen changes already. He already probably recognized the changes. He didn't probably compare it to his ex, but he probably recognized the changes and was just like, okay, she's just making some changes. But now he making the connection. Now I would be like, yo,
What's up?
what's up with you?
What y'all think? Give this man some advice.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, put it in the comments. What would y'all do?
Obviously, I'm joking when I say run. I mean, they're married. He can't just take off with the baby and scram.
Yeah.
But, ooh.
They said 12 years in?
He
How
said
long?
they've been together a decade.
A decade. Okay.
Well, guess what?
What?
There's an update.
Oh, good. Yeah. What did they do?
Before we get to the update, make sure y'all get this man some advice. Don't cheat.
Right.
Don't hit the update first and then give you advice, right?
Mm.
So he writes in, I was not expecting this post to go viral. I'm overwhelmed by all of the support. The next day, after I calmed down, I called several therapists, and that is where I plan to confront my wife. However, the places that took our insurance didn't have any availability for a couple of weeks. I guess he's saying, I can't hold on to this for a couple of weeks. I need to
I need to
discuss
know
this
now.
now.
Right.
I don't blame him. So I decided to bring the baby to my mom's house. I came back home and asked my wife to go on a walk with me. Not a walk.
Mm.
I was straightforward. I didn't beat around the bush. I said, I found your folders. Her face got very red. She was frozen. She also tried to play dumb like she didn't know what I was talking about. But I didn't back down. She then even started to cry. She begged me not to leave her. I asked her to explain herself. She said this all just started as simple curiosity, but over time, it became more of an obsession. She told me I used to mention her often, which triggered her curiosity. Digging in deeper into her life just started off as a game, finding her clothes to see if she was cheap or expensive, but eventually things just got out of hand. She admitted to creating fake profiles and sending friend requests to her friends until she had enough mutual friends in hopes that my ex would accept her friend requests.
Wow.
We started therapy as a couple and individually. I told her she needed to get assessed by a psychiatrist.
Mm.
She promised she would stop and never do this again. She even offered to delete everything in front of me so that I could see. I gave her that chance. I started to notice that certain items from her closet started to disappear. She was putting forth the effort, but something in me just found it hard to trust her. I'm afraid she has another secret that I won't find out for another decade. Nothing is completely back to normal, The hardest part of all this is to learn how incredibly insecure and possibly mentally ill my wife is. I'm not sure if I can walk away from her in this state. Thank you again for all the support. I'll come back with the update if anything big happens.
Yeah.
I'm glad he talked to her.
Exactly.
Not her trying to deny it. I mean, I guess that's human nature. I mean, ma'am, he said, I found your folders. Like,
right.
He knows. Like, there's no denying it now.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess, this was an embarrassing revelation and she tried to weasel her way out of it. Do you think she has a mental situation, or do you think she's just highly, highly insecure?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I would take the insecure route, you know what I mean? And then I would kind of just try to figure that out. And then I guess it might come to light that she has a mental condition.
I guess the question is, and I mean, anybody would, and if we got any doctors in the house, any psychiatrists, let us know. But even if we have some psychologists in the chat, let us know what you guys think about this. Like, does she fall under the mentally ill category or just extremely insecure? I took a 1 credit elective in psychology in undergrad. I have 0 credentials to know if this lady's mentally ill or not.
Yeah, for sure.
But insecure for sure.
Yeah.
Because a secure person doesn't behave like this.
Right. I feel like they were just together for such a long time to where it's like, to me, to take the mental ill route, I think that might just be a little far-fetched if she didn't show any signs like this before and this just sprung up.
It did not just spring up. She been doing it the whole relationship. He's just now finding out about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I would hope she wasn't crazy though.
I mean, this is crazy.
Because you found out, but she hasn't been acting crazy.
She has been acting crazy. He just hasn't noticed. We can't forget with what she's been doing. Just because he didn't catch her a long time ago or notice a long time ago doesn't erase the fact that she's been being crazy for the last decade.
Okay, well then, yeah.
Because we looking at the folder, she been doing crazy stuff this entire decade. It's just he didn't realize.
I guess people do crazy stuff in the background sometimes, their own little thing. You know what I'm saying? Just because you find out, I'm not going to just call you crazy. Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to call her crazy. I'll call her crazy for
No,
you.
I mean, you might be crazy, but is it crazy enough for me to leave you because I found out something that you was doing?
Nah, I don't know if he should leave her.
Yeah. Or just be like, oh, my wife is crazy. I mean, yeah, I guess you could say that, but
I don't know. I guess being a secure, confident person is like attractive to me. So I feel like if I was to find out my partner was insecure like that, that would be a complete turnoff. So I don't know how much of her being a secure, confident woman is important to him. But if it's important to him like it's important to me, that would be a turnoff.
No, I feel you.
But this your wife. This is who you committed your life to. So try to work through it.
Yeah. But I do feel like some people have their ups and downs. You know, they have their time. But I don't know. I mean,
I don't think this falls underneath one of the
if we're talking directly
downs.
about this story, then I think she might just be a little cuckoo.
This is 10 years of psycho behavior.
Yeah.
That's not an up and down. That's just I got caught, and now what I've been doing the last decade is finally revealed.
No, I feel you. But they've been married for this long time, so to me, it's like I just wouldn't know how to feel. I wouldn't just throw her in the bucket, though.
Yeah, don't throw her in the bucket.
Yeah.
She ain't, well, people do a lot worse stuff. People be cheating and carrying on. And
But I would definitely just try to fix her. I wouldn't just be like, oh, nah.
Well, do you want to know what some of the commenters had to say?
Yeah, what they're talking about.
Because, this man wanted advice. So let's see what the people told him. This outcome does not look positive. Why stay in a one-sided relationship? At least put a plan together that runs concurrently so you're prepared if it should not work out. Seek legal advice, prepare evidence, and don't do anything stupid. At least then you will be in a better place either way.
Is that deep? Am I missing something? Legal advice?
They're saying for a divorce.
Like, why, though?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know if this is divorceable.
Nah. She got a problem. We got some serious problems we need fixing.
Is this a divorceable offense? I mean, she ain't cheated. She didn't squander no money. She just basically being a stalker behind his back to his ex. Like, that's literally what she's guilty of.
Right.
Stalking his ex. That's it. I don't think that's a divorceable offense.
Right.
But they got a lot of work to do so that he don't look at her differently anymore.
True.
Which is going to be hard. Because, I mean, once you find something out like that, it's kind of Can't unring that bell.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's usually people who aren't married who just casually just say leave your spouse.
True.
So we don't know the people who are writing in their demographics. So, but that's usually the people who just be like, oh yeah, leave.
Yeah, they straight up said just
Bounce.
divorce.
Right. Someone else said, I do agree. It sounds like your wife has experienced some fairly serious mental challenges that have gone untreated for some time. But if there's a silver lining in the situation, it's now out in the open and she can get the support she needs to address these obvious tendencies.
Mm-hmm.
That's not much of advice. That's just more of comment, but
right.
Thank you.
Right.
Someone else said, I think it's really admirable that you aren't just panicking and running away, that you're taking the time and effort and space to see if you can save things. I think it's great that you see your wife has mental issues and you want to help her move forward and hopefully heal your relationship. I hope she puts in the work and I hope you both grow and find happiness.
Exactly.
Some positivity.
That's good. That was a good comment.
They just ready to throw this poor woman away.
Yeah, I don't know what that commenter was talking about, but hey, you do you.
Someone else said, not enough. She needs psychiatric help. I just don't know if I could ever trust her again. Don't let anyone guilt you into staying with her. There will be a lot of that. Good luck.
What? Another bad comment to me.
Hey, he wanted the people's advice. The people is giving it to him.
Hey, facts. Right.
It takes all kinds to make a world. So, you're going to get all kind of different perspectives.
Yeah. Nah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's different. I feel like it's different too. Like I can see your point of view of like you saying like, oh, if the guy wasn't confident no more or insecure and was, snooping on your ex, then I can see as a woman being like, what? Like
that's
what?
creepy behavior for a man.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like I can feel that. But I feel like as a guy and having a wife, it's like
it ain't that deep.
It's not that deep. It's like, okay, I got some fixing to do on my end. So different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think? Give this man the advice down in the comments.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
But this isn't a deal breaker.
No.
Your wife, you just now know your wife is crazy. If you didn't know before, you know it now.
She's a little loony.
It's a little loony. Who don't got a little crazy?
Right. Wow. What?
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well, are y'all ready for story number 2?
Yep. I'm ready.
Ooh, this story here. I am so torn because I don't know if I can root for anybody in this story.
Oh, okay.
But, I'm not going to say anything else. I'm just going to go right into it because goodness gracious is all I can say.
Not goodness gracious.
Goodness gracious.
What?
Goodness gracious.
Okay.
My son attacked his mom, my wife, and I don't know what to do.
What?
I can't even pretend to even be okay with just even having the thought of doing to my mom what he did to her. But also, mom isn't that likable either. Yeah, let's just jump right on in.
That's your son attacking the wife.
Which is his mama.
Yeah, what? What? Okay.
I'm 43. My wife is 39. We have 3 kids. A girl that's 18 and 2 sons, 16 and 14. The past several months, our youngest son, Josh, is convinced that his mom favors his siblings over him. He confided in me about it, so I started to pay close attention to see if I noticed as well. I saw that my wife asked my daughter and our oldest son to go run errands with her, and she never really asked our youngest son, Josh. She also makes more small talk in general around the house with the 2 older kids. It seemed like she just enjoyed their company a little bit more. She never mistreated Josh, though. I asked her if she noticed that she favored the older 2, and of course she denied it, and she reassured me that she loved all of our children equally. I asked her to pay a little bit more attention to it and include Josh more. After our conversation, Josh still complained about his mom. I offered to schedule therapy for him. He declined. Everything came to a head this past Sunday while I was at my friend's house. Apparently, my wife and our older 2 children decorated the Christmas tree without calling Josh to come downstairs.
Wow.
When he eventually did come downstairs and see a decorated Christmas tree, he confronted his mother. They all denied forgetting about him, and then he just snapped. He started hitting and punching my wife in the face. He even choked her.
What?
Then he turned on his siblings, started kicking and punching them after they tried to protect their mother.
Wow.
He beat my wife, his mother, until she was on the ground bleeding. Her left eye was red, her nose was bloody, and she had marks around her neck.
What?
I found out because my daughter called me screaming. When I got home and saw my wife in that state, my older 2 children had to hold me off of Josh. After I calmed down a bit, I called my dad, who lives 3 hours away. He agreed to drive and immediately come get Josh. It's now 2 days later. I have no clue what to do. My wife is recovering slowly, not just from her physical wounds, but the shock of it all. But she hasn't talked about it. She doesn't want to. My dad offered to have Josh move in with him for at least a year to give us some time and space to heal. I'm afraid that if I agree to this, a year apart would do more damage than good. Ultimately, our son must face consequences for the horrible things he did to his mother. As of right now, he's banned from this house, and he's not allowed to contact us. Therapy is mandatory, and I'm sure his grandparents will be strict about him doing it. In the end, I'm hoping that I can put my family back together. I get panic attacks when I think about if sending him away was the right idea. I feel like I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. No decision is the right decision. I simply don't know what to do. Your advice is appreciated.
Wow. Not the son wailing on the moms.
I could never ball my fist and punch my mama in the face.
That's crazy.
Then wrap my hands around her neck and try to choke her?
Right.
What?
Like he blacked out. It was just like, that ain't even my mom's no more. That's
I couldn't even imagine doing that to my mama.
Yeah, what? The one to take care of you, provide for you?
I mean, I feel like we all could think of times when our moms had made us mad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he was very pissed off about this Christmas tree.
Right.
But just beating your mama ass? Like, what?
Oh, he got issues.
But
Serious
then again,
issues.
Like I said, nobody in the story has many redeemable qualities. There's clear favoritism here. How you decorating a Christmas tree with 2 of your children, you left the 3rd one upstairs?
Right. No, that don't make no sense.
I feel like if a child feels like there's favoritism, there's probably something.
Favoritism, yeah.
I think that his feelings are valid. I think that the mom does have favorites. I think she does act on those feelings. I think it was crazy to decorate a Christmas tree with just a portion of your kids, unless he just didn't want to, but at least you should have gave him the option to come decorate. So she ain't really that great either, but damn, she ain't deserve this.
True.
I don't know. Get this man some advice.
Yeah, I don't know.
A lot of people are probably going to be upset at him too, because they probably just feel like, this child made an outcry to you and you didn't do enough, and then he snapped.
It's not like that though. I don't know.
I mean, like I said, nobody in this story is great, but
True.
Sheesh.
Yeah, no, that's just crazy.
Get this man some advice.
Get his man some advice, huh?
What do you do? So let's just take a step back. We already know that he sent the child away. Let's just pretend like before he made that decision, here he is in the house, wife sprawled out, bleeding on the ground. Your son just beat the hell out of her. What now? Pick up from there. What do you do?
I think you do what he did.
Call the dad and say, come get him?
Yeah.
And then he don't come back?
Yeah, that's it. I would call the dad.
Well, he called his dad, the child's grandfather,
who
lives 3 hours away, and said, come get him.
Yeah.
And then the dad offered to have him live there for a year. Do you do that?
Yeah.
But this child already feels alienated. Why would you kick him out for a year?
Nah, because he's going to do that again. If he thought it was cool then. Just to have the mindset of, let me go well on my mom, you send him away.
So are you putting the wife's safety over, I guess, your son's mental well-being, because he's already feeling...
No, I would go get him some help, of course. I mean, but you beat her to a pulp?
She alive.
What?
She didn't die.
She got issues. We need to take some time. So just to clarify, the dad does not live there, right? Is that what we're saying?
No, what do you mean? The child's dad, or the dad's dad who now has the son?
The dad is the grandfather, right?
Right,
okay.
Who lives 3 hours away.
Right. Now the kid is with the grandfather.
Right.
Right. Okay. I think that was good. That's good. I don't know about that. I wouldn't. He has to go for a second though. Maybe not for a whole year. Is that what they said?
He said a year.
Yeah, he needs some help, and he needs to be separated from the home for a second.
I wonder if this happened during the summertime though, because let's just say this happened in the middle of school year. You just unroll him in school because now he's taken out of his home.
Yes,
he got to go to a new school in the middle of the school year. Like that's complete uprooting his life. Now, if this was the summertime, maybe this was a nice transition. But how you in school with kids with your friends one day, and then just another day you just 3 hours away starting your life over.
I mean, I don't know about that, but I mean, it's gonna have to be a commute or something. I don't really
know. They live 3 hours away.
Hey, I don't know, but I mean, if you He's violent 14. To your mom, right? That's a grown kid. That's a grown kid.
He definitely old enough to know better. He's not 6. He's not 6. Like he's a teenager. He probably taller than his mom now too.
Right. I mean, think about the damage she probably did to where she was bleeding. She's slowly recovering.
I mean, yeah, I ain't never been beat up.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what it's like to have a bloody nose and a busted eye and to be choked.
Right.
So I'm sure she is in pain, but we getting old. But how old is this lady? This lady is 39.
Yeah.
We in our 30s. We know. You just wake up some days and stuff hurt.
Right.
So getting your ass beat, I know she is recovering slowly.
Yeah, I think I would send him away for a second. Get him some help. Maybe a few months or whatever, but I don't know about a year. Right. That's what they said. But he would be sent away for a second.
Give the man advice. Tell him what he should do. Send him away for a few months.
Send him away. I would send him away.
To grandpa.
Yeah, send him away to grandpa. Get him some help. And then, see what the situation is after a few months. I wouldn't say bring him back in a few months.
Now, what if it's the middle of school year? Like, what if it's February? You still going to just ship him off? Or?
I don't know.
Can we, I guess people ain't got money to just be bringing grandpa down and sticking him in the sun in the apartment or something.
Grandpa got a life too. You know what I'm saying? So, what?
Oh, no.
I don't know how, that school thing. I don't know. Because to me, you can't just leave him in a house. He just beat the mom to a pulp. That is an issue.
I guess I think about it because my mom took me out of school in the middle of a school year. Got into a little bit of a skirmish.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to go. Mm-hmm. So I started a school in the middle of the school year. Not fun. It's hard being a new kid at a school. It's even harder being a new kid at a school in the middle of the school year. Mm-hmm. I mean, but I'm a pretty resilient kind of girl. It only made me stronger, Okay. But as a child, of course, you don't see that. All you see is the torment.
But we're not thinking about that though. Like we're not thinking about the child and his well-being of him at school.
We need to always think about that.
Not after he beat the mom to a pulp.
That lady ain't a pulp.
That to me, that is what? She's slowly recovering. She was bleeding.
Because we old.
It was a guy.
That's why she's slowly recovering, because everything hurt.
A 14-year-old wailing on a 39-year-old woman.
She ain't 79. I'm joking. Y'all. I'm joking. I'm joking.
I wouldn't be worried about him having to change schools or having to pause. I don't think, just because of it would be hard for him to, be okay at school and stuff. Like, no, he's not okay, period, already from jump.
I'm just trying to think. It's just so hard to put myself in that situation because I just would never be in that situation. I'm just trying to think if my child beat the hell out of me.
Yeah, exactly. What would I do?
But I can't even put myself in those shoes because I would never be in that situation.
I'm just saying though. I mean, she probably didn't think she was in that situation until she got beat up.
I don't know. I don't know what be going on in these people's lives. I don't know anybody personally who would beat the hell out of their mom, like at all. Mm-hmm. And I got friends who probably should have beat the hell out of somebody in that house.
Yeah.
But nobody does that to their mom.
So you can't give an opinion about if your son beats you up to where you on the ground like, how you would feel?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
He's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's crazy. I was away and he beat you up.
And then beat his siblings up.
And yeah, just started beating up everybody.
When the siblings tried to help their mama, he started stomping on them.
You
He
don't
said
know.
he was kicking and punching them.
Yeah, the next time could be worse. Say, for instance, months later, he gets pissed again.
This probably should have been a Patreon story.
For sure.
Sorry, YouTube don't come
I don't
for
even
us.
know if you can. I don't even know, but we just gonna roll with it.
We gonna roll with it. We should.
Oh, but I wouldn't be. What I was saying was, months later, he might do something worse.
We've had a story about a child. Remember the story, I Hate My Son? Remember that story?
Yes.
We've had stories about children being just inherently born bad, according to these parents. He didn't give any context that this son was violent. He didn't give any context that this son had anger issues. The only context he gave us was that this child felt like there was favoritism. That was it. So we have to take, if we're just going to take the facts and not create our own.
Right.
This is not a child with anger issues.
Really? Really? No, this child has anger issues.
You know, he clicked out on his mama. I know this is bad. I told y'all this was bad. I didn't lie. Yeah. I warned you guys and said there's everybody bad.
Yeah, I would send him away and get him some mental help. He's crazy.
Let us know in the comments. So you gonna tell the dad in the comments, Dad, you don't need no advice. Right on, you made the right decision.
You did, because you can't keep him around. You gotta give him some months. I will start with a few months, 2 or 3, get some help, off rip, and then go. You know, of course, you got to check on his father, and then just make sure he gets better. That was good. Because you can't keep him around, because that's crazy, and I feel like he would get more mad, and it is what it is. Well, yeah. I don't know about that. I don't know.
I've never had a man put his hands on me, and if the first male who put his hands on me was my child, poor woman.
Yeah, but
let us know your thoughts in the comments. Basically, my husband said he don't have no advice for him. He just have good job, Dad.
Yes.
I don't know.
He's crazy.
Can I just be the narrator of this episode? I don't know. I don't have no advice for nobody.
Yeah,
I'm gonna leave it to you and the audience.
That's cool. So that's what I would do.
But yeah, I told you nobody really had too many redeeming qualities in this story. Now this next story, a tearjerker. Let's just go down the story's path. But if you're a crier, I'm a crier, so I just like to tell people, if you're a crier like me, grab your tissue. I won't cry when I read it now because I've read it already. I've already had my tears. But this one's gonna pull at your heartstrings. Okay? I've been asked to foster my son's best friend. I'm so lost. I have one son, Henry. He's 12. Henry has a best friend named Archie. He's 14. It's a known fact that Archie has trouble at home. I've never gotten the full story, though. I just know that his parents are addicted to drugs. Last week, I received a call from my son's school. They were asking if I would be okay with them giving my information to Archie's social worker. I said yes, and soon after, I got a call from them. They explained the situation and that Archie was being removed from his home, and they were prepared to place him in foster care. The social worker informed me that the school recommended me as a potential great foster parent. They asked if I could take him in and that it would be a long-term placement, probably until he turned 18. At first, I honestly was shocked. I don't have an answer. I don't know what to say. With Archie being around a lot, I do support him from time to time. I pick him up to bring him to school with my son most days. He spends a lot of weekends at my house. When I do bring him to school, I make sure to pack him an extra lunch because he told me that sometimes the school lunch is his only meal. I buy him soap and deodorant, necessary toiletries. But I'm not sure if I can take him on fully. I'm a single father and I have an okay job. I'm far from well off. I live in a 2-bedroom house. That would mean Henry and Archie would have to share a room. I can't help but to think about the responsibility it would be to take care of another human. A social worker told me that there wasn't any foster placements in the area, so that if I could not take him, the foster home would be in another county, meaning he would have to switch schools. I don't want that for him. Christmas is coming up, and it was already planned that he would spend the 2 weeks of Christmas break at our house. I asked him if I could give them an answer after the holidays, and they agreed. They also told me that Archie has no idea about what's going on. I tried to make it a normal Christmas for him as much as possible, My heart says to take in this little boy, but my brain has me worried about the responsibility and the cost. Archie has already had a rough start in life. I agree he needs stability and care. I can't stomach the thought of him being uprooted, changing schools, and losing contact with his friends. I keep asking myself if I truly have what it takes to give him what he needs. I just don't know what the answer is right now. My heart tells me to give this young child a chance to grow up in some sense of love and belonging. I feel like I'm leaning toward saying yes, but I talked to my mom about it and she thinks this is an awful idea. She thinks that I'm taking on more than I can handle. She reminded me that I'm a single dad with a lot already on my plate to raise Henry on my own. She said taking in another child, especially one with this type of background, could ultimately affect our lives. I understand her point and her concerns are valid, but I just can't imagine turning him away. I need time to process my thoughts, and I haven't even discussed this with my son yet, which would be a huge deciding factor in my final decision. Thank you for reading this. I know it was long. I just wanted some outsider's thoughts. Thank you in advance.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot.
That is.
I don't know.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That is very hard.
But in reality, if I'm already struggling and I have a kid already, I have to make sure my kid is good.
I think that's fair to say.
Yeah. I can't, but I feel like I would be the asshole for saying that.
Being an asshole is not the worst thing in the world to be, baby.
Okay.
I still love you.
Because I've seen this whole, I'm just saying at the end of the day, I've seen this. I couldn't, if I'm already struggling and I already got a kid, I can't. But I've seen the story already though. And I see how heartfelt it was. And I was just like, I don't think I couldn't do that. I don't know if I could do that. If I'm already struggling, I already got my kid. I don't know if I could take that on. I don't know.
Well, you probably just don't know this, and I don't know a lot about it either.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I do know is that you do get paid being a foster parent. So you do get financial help. So you're not just, regardless, we all know that no payments fully covers what it takes to take care of a child. Not even child support. And y'all know I'm a family law attorney. There is no amount of money that someone receives from another person that really truly covers everything that it takes to take care of a child. So even with those foster payments, we know there's just is not enough. Hi, baby.
Jesus, you
didn't sound bad because you said I don't know.
Right.
So I'm gonna answer you about the money, and then you can
let's do that. Let's start with I don't know.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there because I really don't know. If I'm already struggling, I already got a son. Like, what? But I feel you. I mean, he's in a bad situation. I don't know. Shoot.
Well, from what I know, and I don't know a lot, from what I do know, I believe that foster parents get paid from the state. But we all know that there's no payment in the world that truly covers exactly how much it costs to raise a child, even child support. Now, I don't know every state's guidelines. I just know Texas's guidelines. And even the law even says it's not there to cover every single expense that the child has. It's there to make the parent responsible, right? So it's supposed to help. It's supposed to be that parent doing their part. But there's no amount of money that literally take care of every single thing unless you're in a state where, child support could just be astronomical numbers, but it's capped here in Texas. So even if you're a millionaire, it's capped. So from my experience, yeah, you'll get money, but we know the reality of raising children, and kids love to be sick. They love for stuff to happen. Like they're expensive. They're expensive, but he'll get money from the state, I believe. Does that help?
Yeah. Yeah, it would be a tough call. As if probably would be for anybody, but
it's a very big decision.
Yeah.
Because this child will live with you, you know?
Yeah.
That it's nothing to take lightly, that's for sure. Like, I don't blame him for having any pause at all. This is not something you should take lightly. Like, it's a big ask, but
it's a big ask.
The child there all the time.
I can see if I was looking for, if I wanted another kid or something like that, then yeah, but I don't know. It's just hard if you're struggling and you're already doing your all to take care of your son.
Your one child.
Yeah, your one child by yourself. And it's like now now I might have a responsibility of another child. I don't even know, even with the money, it's like, it's just a different life.
But you know, like I'm sure a lot of single mothers out there who feel like, hell, I got more than one child and I make it work. So it's not that, it ain't that hard, you know?
Yeah, I feel you. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. I don't know if, I think they would probably think it's hard too.
I
It's
don't
a
know. I
whole
feel
job.
like sometimes people just look at people complaining about their situation and they probably like, he only got one child. I got three and I'm a single mom. So they probably would just not have as much sympathy for him because they do it with more than one child and they're a single parent.
But it's their kids versus them taking on another kid.
Oh, I get it. I do get it.
So yeah, you'll do, like, if he had 3 kids, then
you ain't got no choice. That's your kids.
yeah, and then you just kind of
Yeah, it is different when we talk about taking on the responsibility of fostering a child.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think? What would you do? And also too, I think a lot of our audience is women, and we naturally, this would just pull at our heartstrings. I don't think we're gonna get a lot of perspective from men and what they would think, because I do think it's different.
Yeah.
I feel like a woman is easier for us to just open our home up because we just wouldn't be able to turn a child away potentially. But I think men aren't as emotional about it, and it's easier for them to say no than a woman.
So even if she was struggling to take care of her one child,
I could even see a woman that was struggling.
Hey, okay.
Agreeing. I do.
I feel you.
I do.
Okay.
Let's look at what some of the commenters said.
Yeah.
Someone said, "Are y'all ready to meet my other cat? Because he's coming. You want your camera shine today?"
Oh Lord, his head popping up.
Y'all see him?
Come
here. There was one lady who talked about how big my cat was that was in the other episode. Well, this is her brother, and he's much bigger. Let me see if I can show him to you guys.
Oh Lord.
It's my baby, y'all. You want to say hello to the people? He's the size of a small child. He's gone.
Not his tail, though.
Not the tail. Let's look at some of the comments.
Okay.
Someone said, he's already partially taking care of him. The state will provide resources to help. I think he should do it.
Okay.
Someone else said, can you try this on a temporary basis to see how it goes? I don't even know if that's a thing. This is not like a car that you can test drive.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you can. Someone said, this is so tough. No judgment whatever he decides. This one is difficult. I agree.
I agree too.
Someone else said, something to consider. If he gets placed elsewhere, he'll probably lose contact with Henry and he may end up in a bad foster home. Someone else said, you'll figure it out. It's just one more mouth to feed and clothe. It's not that hard to make it work.
Okay.
That was it's just another mouth to feed kind of comment. What you think about that? It's so easier said than done.
Right. And it's easier to say it if it ain't happening to you.
Yeah. And I mean, in this economy, people are struggling.
Yeah.
We don't want to just say stuff haphazardly like this isn't a big thing.
Right. He said he was struggling. Like, what?
Right. He said he's struggling. But
know.
I mean, everybody got good points.
Yeah.
You know, they talk about the resources. They talking about he's already around all the time. But doing something because you want to out the kindness of your heart and then doing something now out of a legal obligation is two different things.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's wrong here. This is a tough one.
Yeah, it is.
But guess what?
What?
We have an update.
Okay. Good.
Let's just jump right on in.
Okay.
Thank you for all your responses and support. I genuinely did not expect this. When it comes to my mom, she didn't help with my anxiety about all of this. She's been texting me all week with quotes, telling me that I'm already stretched thin, telling me that I will lose the one-on-one quality time that I have with Henry. These are real concerns, and I'm glad she brought them up to me. Thanks to some of your advice about receiving monthly payments for support, I reached out to his social worker about the financial resources. They informed me that the specific amount is not decided until placement is found, but they did tell me a minimum, which is $240 a week, and that it would be tax-free. I did some financial estimating to calculate how much it would cost me to take on Archie, and based on my calculations, it worked out better than I expected. The $240 a week is a surplus compared to how much I spend on my son a week. They did inform me that there's also a job portion to being a foster parent. There's meetings, there's reports, there's a training during the first year if I decided to take this on. I decided that I won't do this unless I can move us into a 3-bedroom apartment. I decided to finally mention it to Henry, and he was fully supportive and loved the idea of Archie living with us. I told him not to mention anything to Archie yet and that I would need to speak to the social workers. Later that week, Archie and the social worker sat down and we finally discussed everything, and that I told Archie that I decided that I would be his foster parent and that he was coming to live with me. Then he began to cry a lot, I began to cry, and the social worker even teared up. The social worker then explained that they would handle the paperwork as soon as possible. Archie instantly turned into a small child who was crumbling at the thought of losing his parents, but that he was happy that it would be me. After our conversation, Archie and the social worker spoke privately. Later that day, we all watched a movie together as a new family, and Archie just put his head on my shoulder and thanked me for letting him live with us. I write this update with tears rolling down my face. This is when I broke down. After he thanked me, I put my arms around him and told him I would always be there for him. Some days Archie takes it very hard, but overall, doing better than what I expected him to be. Tonight I'm going to take the boys to see a movie and take them to dinner anywhere they want afterwards. This is a new beginning for us, and I want to thank everyone for their advice and their support. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Happy ending.
Good ending for sure. Yep.
Yay! We don't get to use this often. Green flag.
Yeah, for sure. Green flag. Yep.
But he would not have been wrong if he said no, but I am happy that he said yes.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
And I really hope it works out for them, because we don't get to hear like how this child is really doing, or,
right.
Because we can't forget, like, he's been taken away from his parents.
Yeah.
So that is hard. No matter if your parents are trash, children always love their parents, So even though they only feeding this child, maybe sometimes not at all, if he's only eating at school, he still loves his parents, Yeah. So this is hard for him too, and we wish him well. This next story. Ooh, everybody just needs our advice today.
Hey, I'm here for it.
The next story is, I got pregnant by my best friend and never told him.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Years ago, I slept with my best friend. We used to always joke about being friends with benefits. I believe y'all are friends with benefits, but I don't know how y'all are best friends.
Right.
Just saying.
Yeah.
When I got pregnant, I wanted to tell him so bad, but I just couldn't. My plan was to put the baby up for adoption and never look back. We both were young, and neither of us needed a child at the time. I knew he wouldn't want a baby because he confided in me about a pregnancy scare between him and an ex-girlfriend. Now it's 6 years later, and we're still best friends. He recently confessed to me that he's always been in love with me and just never thought he had a chance. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with this information. He's married now with 2 kids. For context, it was an open adoption, and I'm still in contact with our son. You know what an open adoption is?
That they
can still have a relationship with the kid.
Oh, okay. Even though he's adopted already.
Right.
Okay.
If it's a closed adoption, you don't have any contact.
Right. Okay.
He's recently been asking me questions about his dad. This all kind of happened around the same time. My best friend poured his heart out to me, and now our son is asking questions about him. I guess I need some advice on, should I tell my best friend the truth about all of this? He's recently been asking me questions about his dad. This all kind of happened around the same time. First, my best friend pours his heart out to me, and now our son is asking questions about him. I guess I need advice on, should I tell my best friend the truth after all these years?
Wow. And the best friend is married too.
With 2 kids, and just poured his heart out to us. She is one true love.
Wow. Yeah.
People just love complicating their lives, don't they?
Yeah, true.
But get this lady some advice. Should she tell the man about their child that's adopted? Get this lady some advice.
Why I gotta always give the advice? I don't know what you should do.
If the son is asking about him,
yeah,
then I think you should probably say something, because he's probably going to want to meet his dad. That's probably inevitable. Every child will want to meet their parent, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what's next. And you can't have him meet his dad if his dad don't know about him. So my advice would be to tell him.
Okay.
Don't keep that from that child. Like, don't lie to the child and be like, oh, I don't know your dad, or your dad's long gone. Tell the child the truth, and tell your friend the truth.
Right. It would be more so telling the friend that you had the baby with the truth.
Right. But if she doesn't tell the friend, then what is she going to tell her son? She's going to have to probably lie to him too, because I'm sure if she told her son the truth, like, oh yeah, I know your dad, we're best friends, the son is going to want to meet him. And how is that ever going to happen if she never tells the best friend the truth? I think she would end up having to lie to both of them. So no, she needs to tell the best friend, because her son is going to ask about the father. That's next.
Okay. Yeah,
that's my
cool.
advice. See? I said I wouldn't give her none today, but then she forced me.
Well, yeah, because I didn't know what you should be doing.
She should tell him, man.
That's cool.
I think everybody should deserve to know if they got a child out there.
Right, for sure, yeah.
And like, this is a happy ending. Like, this child is adopted. You know, I'm assuming everything's fine. She didn't mention anything about this child being troubled or anything like that. She even gets to have a relationship with him, so why not?
Yeah,
now this
sure.
man do got a wife and 2 kids.
Yeah.
But this happened a long time ago, so
nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
I just didn't know what. I mean, I would just be confused just like her. Like, I don't know.
This happened when y'all was friends with benefits.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what a surprise to tell somebody. Yeah.
Crazy.
There is an update.
Okay, good. Yeah, we need that.
She said, I'm flying to his city to speak with both my best friend and his wife. Mostly his wife wanted to speak with me. She thought it would be best if we spoke in person. This is my first time meeting her. I'm not anticipating anything awkward. I'm married as well. And plus, our son is 5 years old. They've been married 1 year. So there's no trust or cheating issues. How y'all best friends and you ain't never met the wife before? Well, they only been married a year, so I can see how that could happen. His wife and I talked for hours about our past situationship. After we talked, our husbands joined. I shared all of the whys and reasons behind the decision I made. My best friend admitted that he would have asked me to terminate if I had told him about the pregnancy, but that he's happy now and that our son is here and he wants a relationship with him. I'm so grateful that despite all the years and things we've been through, that he is able to understand the choice that I made. We all set boundaries and decided to communicate via text so that everyone can see what's being said. We all agreed that both of us didn't need to be present when he met our son. However, we are open to the idea if our son requested.
Okay.
I think this is the best way this could have went.
Right.
This is the best way this could have went.
Exactly. Because it could have went.
Yeah. But the comments are a little interesting.
Okay. What they talking about?
The comment says, no one in this story should have kids.
Wow. What?
That was harsh.
Right.
Someone else said, she writes like we already know all the intimate details in her life. Best friend confesses he's in love. Now it jumps to, I'm going to go talk to his wife? Record scratch. Someone else said, I'm reading the comments and laughing at how weird I am because my first thought was, this was such a nice story. LOL. Maybe because I'm adopted and I read a lot about how things can go left with open adoptions. This aspect really felt like a Hallmark movie. To me, I mean, all the stars did align. Someone else said, here's my take. Best friend is still in love with her, like he said. She still has feelings for him, but won't admit it. This is gonna go kaboom in their family's faces. Their kid needs to run.
What is up with these commenters? But okay.
I thought it went well.
Yeah, it did. It went as good as it could have.
They're concerned.
Yes, they are.
What do you guys think?
Y'all let us know y'all opinion, because
I mean, that's the best outcome that could have happened. Everybody is fine with the situation. The best friend isn't mad at her about hiding it. I don't know how much better this could have got. Like, you still have a relationship with this child. This child now has the opportunity to know who his dad is. I don't know what's wrong here.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah. I don't know why these people mad. Well, tell us too, like, what are your, out of the 4 stories, what was the one that shocked you the most? Which one was the hardest one to give advice on? And we can do a quick recap. I found my wife's secret and I'm sick to my stomach. That was the Google account story. The next one was my son attacked my wife, his mom, and I don't know what to do.
Right.
The next story is about I've been asked to foster my son's best friend. And lastly, this story. Okay.
Yeah, that was a crazy one.
Yeah, that was hard because I just don't know what's the right thing to do. This child is already feeling alienated, and that's why he beat his mama in the first place. But then he beat his mama.
Right.
So I thought this one was the hardest one to give advice for. This one was rough.
I feel you.
And then I would probably have to say this Google account, which wasn't hard to really give advice on. It's just that, like, your wife is creepy. And then, of course, I would then say The best friend and the foster parent one is a tie.
Oh, okay. That would have been my second one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, the foster parent one was really difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let me switch.
Yeah, because that would have been a tough decision.
I think the son beating the mom is number one.
Mm-hmm.
The foster parent one is number two.
Mm-hmm.
The wife with the Google account is three.
Yeah.
And the fact that you had a baby by your best friend and didn't tell him is four.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that.
You agree?
Yeah.
What did you guys think?
Yep. Rate them in the comments for us so we can see what's going on. Cause this is a tough episode right here.
Yeah, we put the challenge on ourselves.
I know.
This is an advice giving episode.
Hey.
So give people what they're asking for.
You're right.
They said, we tired of y'all just sitting around listening. Y'all better chime in.
I know, right?
These Reddit people want advice. It was like, don't just be reading my story and not giving your 2 cents. They are asking for our 2 cents and we got it. I like the little advice part.
And y'all give y'all 2 cents too. Don't be leaving us by ourselves.
Right. Let us know. Do y'all agree with the advice we gave? Do you disagree? I mean, this is a family. We don't have to agree all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
We can have a robust dialogue, and that's what makes this so great. We all come from different walks of life and share different perspectives and opinions, right? We'll all respect each other in the comments, right, guys?
That's right.
Everybody's usually pretty polite.
Yeah, everybody cool.
Stop calling my cats huge.
Oh, Lord. Hey, it is what it is.
I scream so loud. I laugh because I know it's the truth.
Yeah,
but everybody talks about how big they are, and I just don't see it.
Because they're your kids.
They just so little.
They live a good life.
They live a great life. They got a little automatic feeder, and everything's all good.
Yes, they do.
You ain't missed no meals. He's still here. He's just on the floor.
Right.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed today's episode.
Absolutely.
Give these people what they asking for. Give them the advice down in the comments.
Yep.
And we'll definitely see you in the next one. And let us know, do you like these advice videos? We'll do a part 2. See you guys later.
All right now.
Bye.